this thing is very value for your buck. Now, if you're looking for a fuel-efficient city runabout, you're probably looking at a Super Mini. But what about a hybrid electric Super Mini? Well, that's what we have today. This is the Nissan Note e-Power facelift. And is it any good? Today, we'll find out. Now, if you're thinking about trading in your car for a car like this Nissan Note e-Power facelift, try selling it with quotes instead. Quotes help you sell your car quickly and easily with the new Quotes doorstep. Get a professional inspection by our certified mechanics at your convenience anywhere on the island. Quotes will then auction out your car online to its wide network of dealers to bid on your car. Once bidding is complete, Quotes will update you with the best offer price at no obligation. It's that easy. To find out more, visit quotes.com.sg. That's quotz.com.sg. Now let's find out more about this car. Now, starting off by the front, the only thing that's different on this new Nissan Note facelift is this new signature V-Motion grille. I like the previous iteration. It looked a lot more futuristic, a lot more cyberpunk. This to me looks like all grille. It kind of looks like it belongs on the Serena. It's not that I don't like all grille. I like that the Tucson is all grille, and this color, I think in white, it would look a lot better. But other than that, you still get a nice new Nissan logo and a splitter down the front. And since that's the only thing that's new about this facelift, that's it for this episode. If you like this episode, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And just kidding, moving on to the side. Now over by the side, this Super Mini, you can tell by the dimensions, they are rather compact. And most of the things have been covered. If you haven't seen the first review, you can see, click it up here. Other than that, this new color does really give it a little bit more of a pop. But other than that, let's move on to the rear. Now over by the rear, you get the same boot design, but I think what really makes this stand out, especially with all this smoked taillights and this new Nissan badge, new from the previous generation, and it really makes it pop if it's white on black on grey. And then you open up the manual tailgate too. 340 litres worth of boot space. Will it pass the anti-trolley length test? The answer is most probably not, and not by a long shot, but that's to be expected. But if you put it horizontal, of course, it can still hold all of this and the luggage, and it still goes in pretty deeply, so you get more space out of it. Knocking down the rear seats is really easy from here. Now, other than that, let's check out the inside. Now, in the rear of the Super Mini, you can see when I'm standing outside, it was like half my height, but now, seated inside, I'm 1.75 meters tall. This is my head space, and this is my leg space. And I'm always just quite intrigued by how much they managed to squeeze inside a Super Mini. I still feel the Jazz does a better job, but this is still a decent amount of allowance for the size that this car is. In terms of amenities, you have a pocket here for your phone, probably. No fast charging, no USB, no rear aircon, but that's because in a Super Mini, you're probably going to be able to get an aircon from the front anyway. You're going to get magazine holders on both sides, no middle armrest, but there is a middle transmission tunnel, so sitting in the middle for 3 people is going to be like this, and then you eat into the sides of your friends. But that is pretty much to be expected of a Super Mini. What's not to be expected is black Napa leather upholstery, so nice touch, Nissan. Let's check out the front. Now over by the front of the Nissan Note e-Power, you get a 7-inch instrument cluster and a 9-inch infotainment system with wired Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Down here, things are rather Spartan. You get your aircon dials, aircon control, single zone. Things are very back to normal, back to basics. Black plastics all around, but things are very usable. No wireless charging here. A cubby space, very narrow down here. USB-C fast charging, USB-A for your Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Instrument cluster, I'm not a fan because you can really tell the contrast between the 2 different screens. One that has the more digital display and one the more LCD analog display. And then all your warning lights out here, it takes you out. You can very easily see the differences between the 2 or 3 screens. I think I would rather have the analog dials if it made things look cleaner, because this Nissan design is clean, but moving down to the steering wheel, you also get, it's a bit lopsided. You have your media controls here, but you don't have any like cruise control, so this side is empty, so that's also a little bit iffy. But other than that, you have your light up here, and this is kind of out of segment. This is a digital rear view mirror, which is good job, but it's just unexpected. No cup holders in the center, but you do get one on the right and one on the left. I like this kind of design. This thing really piques my interest. It's a little bit of a textured plastic, but at least you make the cabin feel a bit nicer. You get that they put in the thought and effort into it. And of course, there is the black Napa leather upholstery, but these are going to be manual seats. Now, does this car drive as good as it looks? Only one way to find out. The Nissan Note e-Power Hybrid is priced at $155,000. The 1.2-litre naturally aspirated engine produces 114 brake horsepower. The e-Power drivetrain outputs a combined 280 Nm of torque. The single-speed transmission brings the car from 0 to 100 km per hour in 9 seconds. The Nissan Note has a claimed fuel consumption of 24.4 km per litre. For more details on the Nissan Note or any other car, head on to Sgcarmart.com to help you make the smart choice on your next car. So driving the Nissan Note e-Power facelift, what does it feel like? Well, it's powered by a 1.2-litre 3-port naturally aspirated engine. It doesn't really matter, does it? Because after all, this is an e-Power, so it's essentially an EV. You're pulling some Cat A brake horsepower numbers out of this car, but you are getting freaking 280 Newton meters of torque. Why? Because this is essentially an EV. The petrol engine is essentially a generator. You are running off battery power that powers the electric motor, that sends powers to the wheels, and your petrol engine does not send a single drop of power to the wheels. So that's why you get 280 Newton meters of torque within this hatchback form, which makes it zippy, it makes it responsive, it makes it fun. And to make even more fun, we're currently in eco mode. You do get 3 drive modes, so you can go into sport for an even more immediate pedal response. In terms of MPH, there's some noises permeating into the cabin, but I think it's rather acceptable for its segment, considering its price and what you're getting. I think it's very, very acceptable. In terms of suspension, it's set up to go really, really softly. This thing can take the harsh bumps inside the car parks. You know those really steeply angled ones made of really tough concrete that just shake you all about? This thing eats them up really well. So it really gives you a very comfortable daily runabout. Because of its size, it's really easy to handle within town. You can cut the corners really easy. You have a lot of amount of power, so in and out of lanes is not going to be a problem for this car at all. Another thing that you get out of this hybrid is that because of so much torque, you get so much fun out of this hybrid system, yet you won't be drawing something like, 10, 11 kilometers per litre. With my GK Jazz 1.3, because of its segment, because of its size, because of its power paired to its CVT, I feel like I had to give it full send all the time to even get a little bit of fun. Even for that hatchback size, it would give me in return 10 to 11 kilometers per litre, which was dismal for something of that size. But with this, a hybrid that you don't have to charge, you would get plenty more fuel economy with plenty more fun, and for a very competitive price. Now, in terms of safety, this is, by today's standards, rather dated. You are gonna get one pedal drive, which is they kind of pioneered for that, or at least the marketing. So you're gonna get one pedal, easy to stop, easy to go. But in terms of other safety, you're gonna get lane keeping assist. There we go, that's the lane keeping, telling you that, hey, you're departuring off the lane. But you're not gonna get smart cruise control. In fact, you're not going to get cruise control. So by that, it is a little bit dated, but at the same time, you're also not exactly going to need it, but it's just nice to have. So with all that said and done, is this Nissan Note e-Power a will buy, won't buy, or go try? If you ask me, this Nissan Note e-Power is a will buy, because if you look at its segment, if you look at its competitors right now, this is making a very, very good value proposition. You have to take things into account. This current COE economy, every starter car is like 170,000. This thing is 150,000, and you're getting the e-Power hybrid system, plenty of torque, snazzy new looks. This thing is making a very good argument for your money. You're getting plenty of car for your money. If you look at competitors fighting against your Jazz e-Have, which is some 170,000, your Kicks e-Power 168,000. If you're going for something bigger, a Mazda 3 or Skoda Octavia mild hybrid, this thing is also a few tens of thousands of dollars cheaper. Now, this thing may be lacking in some things like safety systems or some refinement around the cabin. You're still getting the e-power system, and you can still feel certain regards of the cabin. It's really done really well, like the Japanese chime when you reverse. You get your digital systems, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. This thing is very value for your buck. In fact, at this price segment, the only thing that it kind of really goes up against are the Chinese EVs. But Chinese EVs, or rather EVs just in general, aren't for everybody right now. If you want something that you stop off at the petrol station 1 minute and you're done, then this is quite honestly quite hard to beat. It's not perfect, it's not the most well done, but for that price, you can hardly find a reason to fault it. And that's why this Nissan Note e-Power is a will buy. So that's our review of the Nissan Note e-Power facelift. What do you think? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Let us know down in the comments below, as well as any other car that you'd like to see us try out. Do leave it in the comments and I'll read every single one of these. Now, if you made it this far, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any of our future uploads. And lastly, do follow us on TikTok. We are at Sgcarmart. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Bye-bye. Gonna get magazine holders on both sides. No rear, no... Sorry, I'm about to sneeze.
Nice.